Well, good evening and welcome to this Wednesday, June 30th edition of the Islandstad Sports Show. I'm your host, Earl Baston. I'm going to be alone this evening. My co-host, Juggling Jason, had another commitment he had to attend to. But starting off this evening, we have Brian Morris, the head pro at the Ocean View Golf Course, and Ezekiel Sternum, who is the sponsor of the Johnny Walker, the 5th annual Johnny Walker Classic that will take place in September. First of all, gentlemen, welcome. Let's get a little bit from you regarding the Johnny Walker. I remember now 5 years ago, you giving me a call to say that you kind of brought this back to life, around the club. 5 years have gone by really, really fast.
Yeah, say sure. Yeah, good evening, fellas. Once upon 5 years ago, it was, a dream of mine because it was such, it was like the main tournament for Ocean View. And I remember as a kid, my father taking me up there and watching it. So I had reached out to Johnny Walker at the time, and I said I was going to do it. And it started off with a field of 36 in the beginning. The second year, it went up to, I believe, maybe 51, 48, 49, 51-ish. And the last 3 years have been full field, 70 players. That's all we could handle at Ocean View, time spots and whatnot. And, bro, it's a major points tournament for the Bermuda Golf Association. It's a major points tournament for the Bermuda PGA, so it's going from nothing to like something like that everybody wants to play in. One good thing about this is, mate, 3 weeks before I'm done. That's finished. It's full. The scorecards, everything's like they're ready. Nobody bails.
Right.
It means that much to so many people.
Right. And Ezekiel, as a sponsor, this tournament under that name was a huge tournament years ago. And the fact that Brian has given you guys a call to kind of get behind it again. How difficult was it as a sponsor, as the sponsor for Johnny Walker in Bermuda? How difficult was it for you guys to kind of get on board?
To be completely honest, it wasn't difficult at all. I've been in this role now, managing Johnny Walker on the island for about 3 years now. So obviously I've just come in at a point now, but even from I remember my first sort of year, it was sort of one of those things where it was like, hey, you got to go do this Johnny Walker tournament. I was like, all right, cool, no worries. And I met Brian for the first time and things. And it's just an amazing atmosphere. And seeing where it's come from then to now, it's exactly what you want. And then you talk to Brian, and he's so passionate, and it's amazing to see where it's come from to where it is now. And even you look at the history of Johnny Walker with Ocean View, and this is exactly where we should be. There shouldn't be any other brand. This should be the brand, and this should be a tournament that can move on for the foreseeable future, as long as I'm in this role at least. And even when I do pass this role on, in another couple of years or whenever that happens, I hope I maintain the staple.
Have you been enticed to pick up any clubs? Because I know Brian can talk some people into.
Hey, I'll be completely honest. I just picked up the sport in September because of COVID.
Right.
So I was always into football my whole life, but with
Right.
COVID and all these restrictions and things like that. And yeah, I mean, it gives you a whole nother perspective, because before I was just showing up and I was like, yeah, these guys just swinging clubs. Yeah. But now you're like, oh man, like guys are getting paws out there. Guys are shooting 5 under. Hey, this is crazy.
Well, let's go back a little bit, Brian. Let's see how good the memory is. But when it was revived, I know you done it. Although your thought process was a long time process, but the first year it was short, putting it all together. And I think that's where the low number came from. But to get those guys, how enthusiastic was this first group of guys the first year to get it going? Because I know most of those, if not all of them, continue to play right up to today.
Sure. Well, you know what Ocean View is like.
Mm.
These guys are on my case. Not you got to do this. You got to try this. You got Ocean View is like it's going backwards. That we used to have this. It's on you. I'm like, you guys are serious. Okay. I said the first thing is okay. Let me learn the history of Ocean View. After I became, cool with all the members, they trusted me. They respected me. They believed in me. They told me about this Johnny Walker. I said, okay, let me try. And like I said, I reached out to Ezekiel and company, and they said, yeah, sure. It was almost. I never had failure in the picture. I always knew that it would get better. They put so much pressure on me that look, this tournament was this time of year. That I said, okay, I'll do it. I did it, and now everybody wants to be a part of it to the point where it's like, yo, bro, I have a spot for you, but you just got to be on a waiting list because you waited a little bit too long. And I have the best. Last year we got, I think it was 19 pros. Um, we had all the top amateurs, Damon Paniandi, Jared Dillis, etc., etc. They're all coming out now. So now it's like it's real golf, and it's so cool because we like to get up flags and all that stuff like 2 weeks before, and like you could feel the excitement building. And as you walk into the club now, we're so grateful we have this great big Johnny Walker logo. It's the Wall of Champions with all the winners, like in the trophies on the side of it.
Mm.
So like it's amazing. Not just we're off taking it, but every year Johnny Walker takes better and better curvers. We started off with like a flask, you know, and now it's like prizes and a flask and a goodie bag and tees and bowls, and so it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I'm so thankful for that. And everybody who plays are thankful as well. You can see how happy they are Sunday afternoons when they finish the Johnny Walker, not the golf, the actual stuff.
Has there been any conversation, because the qualifier for the Bermuda Championship is a par three tournament out at the Turtle Hill Golf Course? But wouldn't it make just a little more sense to have a full-fledged tournament as a qualifier for the Bermuda Championship as opposed to a par three? Because you then have to turn around and you're playing a full-fledged tournament at the Port Royal Golf Course.
You know what? I agree 100%. And we could always use the Johnny Walker as that. But the day I talk about moving it, it will be mayhem. Nobody's letting that tournament move from there. It is Ocean Views, and that's it. So that's where it'll.
No, I'm not
stay.
saying move it from. I'm not saying move it from Ocean View. I'm saying that the Johnny Walker could be the qualifier for the Bermuda Championship as opposed to having a par three tournament as a qualifier.
Well, they have the qualifier for that at Port Royal. At the site of the Bermuda Championship.
Right, but the par three gives a person a ticket into the Bermuda Championship.
The winner of the par three, and we haven't had that. Not, you know what? You might have started something, Merle, because that could be cool. Like the winner of the Johnny Walker have an exemption into the Bermuda Championship. I get you now. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. But
because then it allows, if they give us extra spots for that qualifier, that could be one of the spots.
100%, and that would be pretty cool if somebody would reach out and say that the Johnny Walker is going to become one of the spots for a local a local player in the event. To be honest with you, I kind of scared it where it is to get guys ready for the Bermuda Championship qualifier, which is generally 2 weeks, 3 weeks after that. So it gets guys in the tournament mood, get you up against, playing against the best. And it's kind of like a springboard to the qualifier. So, bro, that would be cool if we could take it to that level. I know these guys are getting points as amateurs to represent Bermuda from the Johnny Walker, which was never happening. And I've spoken to Gary Vannon, who runs the tournament, and
Right.
to be honest with you, he's the best ever at doing that stuff. And it very well could be. So hopefully, somebody will come to me and reach out. That would be
If
pretty
not this
cool,
year,
man.
next year.
Yeah, if not this year, next year for sure.
Yep.
I'm not sure how many spots they're given for the Bermuda Championship. I believe it was 5 the first year
It
they
was 5,
started. I
and
think
that
it
was
was
3
3.
last year, right?
I think it
Right.
was 3 last year. Yeah,
So
but
it
no,
could
that
be
would
2
be
at the championship qualifier and one from the
that. Yeah,
Johnny Walker.
because everybody plays. I like to see guys like Kamika and Daniel
Mm,
be able to get back for it. Because it is
right.
a decent prize purse. Actually, it's a really good prize purse. So I would like to see those guys get it. And to be honest with you, we have the best of the best on the island, pretty much playing in
Right.
the Johnny Walker. So the competition's there.
Right. Ezekiel, there's always a lot of talk about lack of sponsorship for Bermuda sports, lack of
Yeah.
just the willingness for companies to help.
Mhm.
You guys, it looks as if you guys have really stepped up for this event. What over your 3 years, how have you seen your end grow this tournament?
Well, like from a commercial point of view,
Mhm,
COVID has sort of thrown everything for a loop. And unfortunately, the first thing that always gets cut is the budget,
mhm,
the marketing budget in this regard. But in terms of us, I think it's just a matter of, I personally believe in the tournament. And I feed off a lot of Brian's energy and a lot of his passion. You don't want to. A lot of times, I have meetings with people, and it's sort of like, oh, I'm not sure if I should do this. I'm not sure if I should do that. Whereas it's always been my conversation, and always will be a conversation with Brian. It's sort of like Brian's like, look, I'm gonna make it work either way. Your help is greatly appreciated, but I'm gonna make it work. And I feel like that's my mate, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna ease you up. So this is what we can do. I talk to my people that I need to talk to, whether that be in Miami or her, and I make sure that his covered in any which way. And then this year, specifically, I went out and got a lot of other things that he didn't really know about, and he just found out this week. I just dropped him a
Sure.
whole lot of stuff this week, and I was like, yeah, well, this is what we're doing this year, and he's like, oh yeah, cha. So it's
Yeah,
sort of.
straight.
Yeah, because I like to, I like, if this is where he's going and this is where we're going, I like to do that, and I would like to say that is something for anybody who wants to do golf tournaments or promoters or parties or events or anything like that. You have to put your best forward first. Don't ever go into a room thinking that the sponsor is going to do everything for you. Sponsors are just there to sort of help and sort of get business if they can as it goes along, if it works. But realistically, it needs to be you. You cannot rely on anybody else, and I see that a lot in this industry. People don't have anything together, but they want me to give them everything, and that's not cool, and that's not how things should operate. But when you do what you're supposed to do, you get a lot more than you expect.
Definitely. Well, Brian, you're on the heels of, or just off the heels of, a successful event that took place over the weekend. I guess guys are itching to get back out there and correct those mistakes. In an event where you've got a lot of people watching, because I know on Sunday afternoon, and not just Sunday afternoon, but Saturday afternoon in the tee off, I'm pretty sure a lot of the guys that were lining up there never had that many people watching them play behind them, let alone on Sunday afternoon playing that final hole.
And to be honest, the Johnny Walker's worse because
Right.
it's 5 years in the making, and everybody see this field was smaller with the fray.
hmm
But the spectators were there. So now you throw the spectators in there with, in the last group. That means you got 66 people plus spectators. But don't be surprised if somebody don't throw up all of themselves because because it don't happen too often except
Right.
for Ocean View. And this is where I give so much credit to the local golfing community and the Ocean View members, man, is that without the support, I can't get Johnny Walker support. You know what
Right.
I mean? It all works together. So those guys come out and support, and they make a day out of it, man. They come watch the guys in the morning, have some lunch, watch you guys in the afternoon, watch everybody come in. It's a pretty special tournament because you don't get this amount of people anywhere. But Ocean View has always had a good following with the Goodwill team, um, with the golf professionals in any local tournaments. If you see a crowd, I guarantee you somebody from Ocean View is playing. I could
Mhm.
I could bet my bottom dollar that. And so I have to give so much credit for them because when Ezekiel comes up the hill and he sees the flags and he sees 50 people under the tree and 50 people on the porch and 30 golf carts out on the golf course, like that's just what his looking for. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm providing through our members and just the local golfers anyway. It's good golf, bro. It's the best in Bermuda, and that's sharing it, throwing it down on on a golf course with so much history, where everybody up there has been passionate since before me, and now I'm just carrying that legacy on, really.
Well, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have more with the Johnny Walker Golf Classic coming up in September. We'll be right back.
We're welcoming back the often featured Whole Food veterans Bragg Live Food Products, renowned for their live probiotic organic raw cider vinegar and savory seasonings. Paul Bragg is the man behind the products that has originated health food stores, restaurants, and spas, and promoted nutrition education through the media, helping lay the foundation for the enlightened way we make healthful choices when we shop for and prepare food. This month we're featuring Bragg Organic Raw and Unfiltered Apple Cider Vinegar and Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. Well, Brian, can you recall the four previous winners coming into this year?
In the professional division, was Dwayne, Daniel, actually Damian Paliandi won it 1 year. I believe it
Yes.
might have been the first or second year he was,
I think it was
you
the
know,
second year.
I think as an amateur. So it was Dwayne, Daniel, Damian, Eric West won the amateur division
Amateur.
last year. Beaver won it 1 year. Beaver Ray.
Right.
Pally won it again 1 year. And then you have the net like Gary Bragman, I believe, won the senior division.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne Greaves, the net division. So everybody's like a Johnny Walker champion, and you hear it all year, bro.
Yeah.
All year from like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Last year we kind of got lucky because we were phasing out of the COVID type of
Right.
thing, and we managed to get it played, and then it took off again. So,
Mhm.
I'm really looking forward to this year. We got 3 months, and Dennis Program, the superintendent, his pledged to me that he's gonna do his part. I have guys out there now. We were just working today, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta cut these down for the Johnny Walker, da because that tournament from Saturday's gone. This
Right.
is this is our showpiece. So, like I said, we start planning now, and that way, 2-3 weeks before, we could just on cruise control.
Right. And let me ask you because I often see, or people that never play the game wonder about pin placement. When do you decide where the pins will be for a tournament, or do you wait until you find out what the weather is like to do the pin placements?
Yeah, a lot of times we do it probably a day or two before, depending on the wind, etc. If the wind's coming, if the wind's behind you, you don't want to put the pin up the front. But we do have a couple of pin placements that are like traditional, almost
Mm.
like the 18th pin at Augusta on Sunday. Number 9 at Ocean View, Annika, where it's blowing, it's gonna be up in the back right corner.
Right.
You got me? So
Right.
yeah, it's kind of decided a couple days out, they're printed out the day before. But there are a few that are there no matter what. So
Mm, mm. Ezekiel, you haven't signed up for it, have you? Or you're just going to be one of those
No,
sponsors?
no.
Got a sponsor's exemption. I'm gonna
I
get
can't
sponsor's
take that
exemption.
lift. I can't take that lift.
But you don't know where you're going to end up if you don't play.
Hey, that's okay. I'll just serve the drinks.
Yeah.
We'll go
Yeah. You be in the top
But they say
70.
know your place. That know your place, right?
This is it. This is it. I might go put on a caddy shirt or something. Go walk around some spots.
That's it. Nice.
And that's just the other thing. I mean, even seeing the golfers with their caddies, which is sometimes in tournaments it's unique but special because you can see that interaction, you can see that communication. For that last year, I remember almost everybody, even the amateurs, had a caddy, and
Yeah,
just
sure.
watching it, it felt like something you would see internationally. It was really dressed up. But we see that again this time around.
Oh, guaranteed. We'll get more. I was actually surprised how many we had out this weekend. I'm pretty sure, I'm safe to say, almost everybody had one. So this year, I'm gonna try to do something special regarding the caddies, but I'm not gonna say it yet. But
Right.
it'll be a nice little touch on the day. And like I said, more and more guys are getting into it and taking it so much serious. And like it's a fun event. Don't get me wrong. The social aspect of it, with the cocktail party on the Friday night, and there's guys who are out there for fun, before and after. During is business,
Mhm.
and it's serious business for a lot of guys. But yeah, man, it's the social aspect. Yeah, our volunteers, man. It's the only golf course tournament that has live scoring. Like, so, if Ezekiel's out on number 4, he went par. You could do that up in the clubhouse,
Right.
which is cool. Nobody does that. Weather fresh, and we've continued to do it. We've done it from day one. So when guys come to the Johnny Walker, they come to play. But on the other side, like, we've had some really good social times.
As many golfers do.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Well, Ezekiel, when you guys kind of set up, I know you always have something special. And as you said, you've already dropped off some stuff that Brian didn't know about, but now he does know about. But how special is it for you as a distributor to be a part of something that is growing to its maximum? I mean, Brian's already said that they can't handle no more than the 70 golfers, and that's what they've had over the last 2-3 years.
I mean, to be like from a distributor point of view, it's fantastic because you have a range of, I want to say, 150 to 200 people, right? Because you have golfers, plus you have the caddies, plus you have their families, plus you have the people who are just coming in. For them to be able to come to Ocean View and sort of sample Johnny Walker, whether it's red, black, green, blue, double black, some of the new flavors, or not flavors, variants that I have now, it's just opening up the market, right? You have a lot of people that I see on a regular basis. Oh, well, I only drink Shivers, I only drink this, I only drink that. And I'm like, yeah, but have you had Johnny Walker like this? Or have you had it on the rocks? So, it's a variety of different ways to do it, right? And I'm trying to work with the guys now at the bar now to put some of the things in place now. So when it comes to the Johnny Walker tournament, end of September,
Sure.
everything's already primed and ready to go. Like whether it's cocktails, whether it's keeping it simple, whether it's just having the product there. You know what I mean? But just more people being involved and enjoying it. And one thing I do really like is the history of Johnny Walker and the connection to the club. So even without the liquor, just the actual connection of the brand I think is superior, and it trumps the entire day. Do you know what I mean? Because anybody could like any sort of liquor or liquid or whatever it is, right? Just depends on the day. But the connection, I think people feel once you're there, they feel inclined. They feel, okay, well, look, this is the respectful thing to do. And I fully 100%, and even my representatives in Miami, they're like, yeah, go on, do what you have to do. No worries, we have you covered. We understand. And I think that's really good, especially considering the people that I deal with. They deal with, Mexico and Panama and Trinidad and Jamaica. And here's little Bermuda telling you about this tournament, how we can't let it go. And they're like, no, completely understood. And I think that speaks volumes in itself.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. See, from my side, and the player side, that they don't realize that. They just think, oh, you just call somebody and yeah, they sponsor it. But there's so much more. There's so much more to it. Like Ezekiel said, they're not going to sponsor just anything. So for them to step up like they have, it just proves to you that this is something. You get me? So guys appreciate it for sure. And like I said, when they open their goodie bags, the day of the tournament, they see it. They see. And I try to keep the price reasonable. Mm-hmm. So that everybody can afford it. I think I've gone up $10 in the last 5 years. It started at 100. It's now 110 for the members. But I mean, $10 in 5 years is not bad. I remember Dewey Trott. He actually won the seniors, I believe, 3 years in a row. And he came and he said, "Man, you could make more." But like it's not really about that. The purse is covered. Johnny Walker's covered. The golf course is covered. The players are covered. Everybody's happy. Like especially in these times, it's nice to be able to go out there and play in something so special that looks like it looks so exuberant and like looks so wicked, man. And you're not having to pay $300, So it's all about that as well, right? That we give the local golfing community like bang for your buck. This thing of you pay $150 and you go play in a tournament and you get lunch, bro. This one is $110, 2 days with cocktail party and whatever. Boom, you're going. It's very affordable. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And I have to thank the general manager, Greg Mabry at the time, rest in peace, who allowed me to this is not a money maker. This is more of getting Ocean View out there. And Stevie Lambert's come right behind him and filled right in and gave me the same blessing as well. So thanks to them as well,
Yeah, he took his golf clubs off the heel rather quickly on Sunday.
Yeah, sadly, actually, unfortunately, he had to play, and he couldn't make Sunday, man. So he was, he was a little upset because he did all right on Saturday. He was looking forward to it all weekend, and unfortunately, something came up and he couldn't make it on Sunday. But he'll be there for the Johnny Walker. He already told me, no matter what, bro. Don't call him. Don't say nothing. Stevie Lambert be here for both days. So he's not the manager that day. I told him take vacation, bro.
There's a kind of a friendly rivalry and trophy up each month between Port Royal and Ocean View that I must say that Ocean View have yet to lose. Your trio, OJ Pitcher and Dawan Borden have constantly, even when you guys switch it up, constantly won this over the line. And it's the Greg Mabry Memorial Trophy that you guys have played. Yeah. So I know there's been a lot of talk about how Ocean View has commanded this trophy. But how special is it that you guys are playing for a trophy in Greg's name?
To be honest, the trophy is actually like we all work together. We all knew each other, but Port Royal was Port Royal. Ocean View was Ocean View. It's not like we disliked each other by any means. We just didn't really communicate a whole lot. So it's funny how that tournament has even brought us closer together as workers, and as friends. And regardless, we guys play our hearts out against each other, like, and we're still best buddies. And it's easier to work with guys, when you're cool with them, And if I need a break or I need a favor, I just let them win 1 month.
They will be talking a lot of stuff on that first tee the next time you guys tee off, right?
Guarantee it, mate. And that's the joy of it.
I want to thank you guys very much for joining me here on the Islandstad Sports Show. Good luck, and we'll be there for the first round, second round, third round, and fourth round, because I know you play rounds in the morning, rounds in the afternoon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
but thank you, Earl, as well. Zeke, thanks so much, bro. We really appreciate you and the Johnny Walker brand. Earl, thank you always for your support. You always backed me and hooked me up as well. So thank you, bro.
Not a problem, brother.
All right, you guys.
We're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be talking with the coaches of the women's national football team. We'll be back.
We're spotlighting our old friends Woodstock Farms, who started up 50 years ago in the belief that we need more trustworthy natural food sources. Starting with one product, their line, mostly certified organic, is now more than 250 strong in 10 categories. This month we're featuring accoutrements of the barbecue, for us the pinnacle of home cuisine and one of the few forms of restorative recreation now within our reach. Try Woodstock Organic Sweet Relish, Tomato Ketchup, Baby Kosher Dill Pickles, Sauerkraut, and Hickory and Original Barbecue Sauce. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. I'm joined by Erin Denkins. I did say the women's national team, and I meant to say the women's under 20 national team, who are preparing for the under 20 women's CONCACAF Championship qualifiers. Bermuda has been drawn in Group A alongside St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dominica, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And first of all, good evening, Erin. How are you this evening?
I'm good. Expecting Coach Keita to pop in, but I'm listening.
Yes. Obviously, you guys have known this tournament has been dangling for quite some time, only because it's been on the schedule. But with COVID, it's always a lot of unknowns. How have you guys stayed focused in making sure that the girls are prepared and will be ready come game time?
Well, the good thing about this group of girls is that they interchange squads. So the U17s mix with the U20s, the U20s mix with the women. So as you know, the women are preparing for a tournament in November. So like you said, we did expect it, but we didn't expect it to be dropped this fast on us. But luckily, the majority of the U20 girls are already training with the women's national team. So we haven't stopped training. So they're all pretty much ready to go.
How good is it that how having the fact that you guys, the three of you, Vance, yourself, and Coach Keita, work in tandem with all the girls, but how much of a blessing is it that you guys have got the same philosophy within each squad, regardless of the personnel?
It's definitely a plus. So like you said, it goes deeper than that. Either it's from the 15s all the way up to the women's national team. It's the same philosophy. It's the same game style, the same language. So things change game to game, but the philosophy pretty much stays the same. So as we said before, the women who are the women now, we've had them since they were 15s. Mm-hmm. So the continuity in the program has always been a plus for this group.
Right. Now, we've seen the evolution of these girls both locally and overseas, because we have a lot of girls in colleges. Some are playing with professional setups or semi-professional setups. which can only improve their abilities. But when they return, how much value do you guys put in what they've learned to kind of gain some of that knowledge from them to push them into that team or into the training session for them to kind of express it with their teammates?
A lot of times, what we find is when players have gone overseas, like you said, professional setups, colleges, boarding schools, the level of maturity that they bring back helps us a lot. The local players are only exposed to so much. They're only exposed to so many games, and exposed to, the same opposition. So at times, their level of enthusiasm may dip. Their level of focus, their level of commitment may dip a bit. So when the overseas girls come back, it's a boost to them sometimes, and they're all friends. So, their maturity. It was funny because yesterday we had a session, and Leilani stayed out, and she just ran and ran and ran and ran. All the other girls packed up, got on the bikes, left, and I left her. She was running. And it was a few others, so Nia and Jaden, same thing. Just after the session, just running, and that starts to permeate through the team. So they see the level of professionalism, they see the next level, and then they start to get there. So them returning always helps out.
Well, they know what they need to do over the summer. So when they return, they're already hitting the ground running, kind of thing. But as you said, that can actually go through the team, because they'll see that and actually just say, okay, coach, I'll see you guys later. As long as the light's on, they can, and it's daylight, they can keep running. But how much in your time have you seen these girls, especially the senior girls now? And you said you've had them since 15, but you've seen them grow. How in your eyes, give us how you see them grown from when you started with them to where they are now.
Again, it's growth in them. It's growth in football in Bermuda. It's growth in the attitude towards women's football in Bermuda that I've seen. So, I'll take a player. I'll pick on Leilani. So, Leilani was the joker, the one that was unfocused and always wanted to have jokes, and the life of the team. To see her come back now and it's just focused. It's just a totally focused person. The majority of them are like that. They just come back. They're just focused, just to see the growth. And they've brought into the philosophy. They brought into the dream. They're brought into the process. And again, thanking the parents, because the parents have brought into the process. So anybody who has supported women's football for the past decade has brought into the process. So that's helped tremendously to where we were 10 years ago. Where 10 years ago, the team pretty much picked itself. So we'd have training sessions. Okay, cool. There's 22. Yeah, 22 are training. Okay, 22 is on the plane.
Right.
We're at a stage now where we've got 30 all that training. We're scratching our heads to say, okay, cool. Well, who's going on the plane? And it's difficult for us because when you're looking at now not selecting players, they don't have clubs to go back to. They don't have, they don't have schools to go back to. So you're almost putting a nail in the coffin for them for women's football. So it's difficult, and we have tough conversations as coaches, and we have tough conversations with the players. So it's difficult at times, but like I said, the process has been great watching it grow.
Yeah, you guys have put a lot of emphasis on a playing style, and I think playing the youth boys teams have, because of the speed that they actually are able to play at, kind of get you guys into a kind of speed that you really want to be playing against and playing at. But the coaches, you guys have built this relationship. You had a style or have a style. Coach Keita has a style. Coach Vance has a style. but gelling that together, and it's still a work in progress because you guys still have to do it each and every day. But when you see the results after a tournament and you look back and you say, "Wow, look what we've been able to accomplish together," as opposed to if we were individuals, how much satisfaction do you get in that?
A lot, and again, the satisfaction is actually seeing the success for the players. And a lot of times, as coaches, we have to set aside our selfish individual thoughts, our egos, and we have to put our heads together and say what's going to be best for this team, what's best for the island, and just make decisions from there. Vance is normally the voice of reason in the room. In all respect to Vance, he definitely steps in at key times to say, look, we have to do this way, da 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 da. So it definitely isn't an issue, because just as much as the players have grown, the coaching staff have grown also. Where Coach Kita's philosophy is attack. My philosophy is don't attack. So we kind of had to meld merge the two. And I think that, again, so we've progressed, we've grown, and I think that you will see that in the results. You'll see that in the team. You'll see that in the formations. You'll see that in the philosophy, that we're no longer a team that just sits back and defends and just hopes that we get one or two attacks going. So everything's grown.
Now we started out on this journey some years ago. We built up all this momentum. COVID has kind of stole a lot of what you guys have been able to do. Although, despite being able to train, the games are the things that are lacking. Meaningful games are the things that are lacking. And then you go into this tournament, not knowing much about your opposition now, or you will have remembered what they were like, but obviously they would have been doing the same thing you were doing in this training. Mm-hmm. But not having as much information as you would like, how do you guys plan to go into a tournament as such and take on the likes of the other teams in Group A?
It has been difficult because of the long layover and again the lack of games. We are trying to go on a training tour in the next 3 weeks to see if we can get some matches. But lack of matches definitely does stop things. And as you mentioned before, playing against boys and men's teams sometimes doesn't help us because they're too fast, too strong, and they demoralize the girls. So it's a balance. We've been doing a lot of mental work with them, mental strength work with them. Doing a lot of things online with them. So we've kept them fed with a steady diet of football, and they're just right now working on their fitness levels and making sure they're where they need to be. Like I said, the U20s is coming at a really good time because I want to say 75% of the women's national team are the U20s. So right now they're in a good space and they're hungry for football. The opponent, I think the opponents are going to be in the same space as us. So whichever teams manage COVID the best normally manage these tournaments the best. And most of our U20 players are overseas and have been playing. Mm-hmm. So that, they have not had football.
Right. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have more with Erin Denkins, the under-20 women's national coach. We'll be right back.
John Barrett & Son, Bermuda's favorite distributor of fine beverages, has brought us a new and refreshing thirst quencher just in time for the approaching warm weather. Hint Water in 7 luscious flavors. Hint Water is slaking the thirst of active people who need pure hydration, low on the glycemic index, and want the kind of taste experience that keeps them coming back to try the next flavor. For those who've been giving water a miss, Hint may win you over. Hint Water. No sugar, no additives, all flavor. Lynn knows. Why go anyplace else?
Well, Aaron, in this tournament, the winners of each group will advance directly to the knockout stage of the 2022 CONCACAF Women's Under 20. But there's no date for that advancement. Do you guys know what the next stage will be? Because this tournament that you're going to be in is in September, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when will the next stage take place?
The information that we have so far is that it will be in the first quarter of 2022.
Okay, but now it seems to go this way each and every time, and we won't be the only ones. But under 20 tournament, we have a lot of young ladies, and just like other countries around the Caribbean, have a lot of young ladies that are just getting back into school, boarding school, universities, colleges, even locally back in school. How do we manage that during a period where they've just returned to school, when you had a little summer?
Yeah.
You know,
that's always difficult, and Vance always complains and always tries to send a message to the tournament organizers not to do this. It's a bad time of year, but you know, it's the dates that they choose. So I mean, for us, it's a lot of early conversations with schools. So most colleges are understanding, most boarding schools are understanding, and of course we are understanding. So it's just a matter of conversations with schools. But again, now with COVID regulations and quarantine periods, that's where it becomes difficult. So we're just waiting to hear back from schools to see what their answers are in regards to player availability.
Yeah, and how soon do we get to know that? Because obviously what you've mentioned, the quarantines and when they go back to school, that period of quarantine as well, does it fall into that? Do they, all of that has to be worked out. But confidence-wise, you've looked at the names of the teams you face in Group A. What is our record against the likes of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dominica, and U.S. Virgin Islands?
To my knowledge, I've only played, I want to say U.S. Virgin Islands. No, not U.S. Virgin Islands. I think St. Vincent. We played once.
Yes.
I want to say, I mean, that they're okay. I mean, you don't want to disrespect any program. You don't want to say anybody's better than anybody. They're an opponent, and we will prepare for them as they are an opponent. It's odd now because we are one of the top teams in the region, and we're looked that way. So we're always talking to the girls about representing yourselves as one of the top teams. So we'll go in there prepared. No, we don't know much about the opponents. We'll see if we can get some video, because everybody's games are on video and everybody's on the internet now. So we'll find some matches. But again, it's just preparing everybody mentally to go out and hold a good account to themselves. And I think we should be okay.
Yeah. Now, we've seen the men go through quite a bit. How much of that blueprint will the women use, or you guys use, in preparation for your tournaments?
The coaching staff throughout the whole academy, we meet, we talk, we're in constant communication. So a lot of the blueprint of what the men have laid down to the staff, we will follow. It's the same communication paths. Before games, Kyle talks to us, we talk to Kyle. It's constant communication amongst all the coaches. So everybody's in communication with each other, and everybody leans on each other.
Okay, all right. Well, we have you guys as one of the favorites to advance, but obviously the game is played on the field. What is the nucleus of the team? Who will we be looking at? Without, I mean, it's still who you got to choose from as opposed to who's actually going to get on the plane.
Right. The bulk of the U20s, you have Zamara, Emily, Trinae, Jenna, Danny, Satia, Koa, Azrael, Baisden, Chechele, Zakari, Jaden, Taranay. That's the 20s that are available, and we'll push up a few U17s to make up the numbers. But those are the U20s that are available, which is a pretty strong team.
Yeah, those are familiar names. They've been around for a long time. And a lot of them have experience, not just locally, but overseas as well.
All of them have experience. All of them had experience. Like I said, this group would have been in the last U17 group that played against United States, Canada. So they're well seasoned, and they've had success, and they've had the not so successful moments. So they've had their ups and downs. So they've been through it. So in regards to tournaments and tournament preparation, this group is pretty experienced.
Where do we lack in position in this particular team? Are we short on goalkeepers? Are we short on fullbacks? Are we short on center halves, midfielders, strike? Are we short anywhere? And if we are, what could be done to kind of lure more people in?
This is one of the teams where we scratch our head, because positions from 9 all the way to number 1, we've got people there, and we've got quality players there. So this is definitely a scratch your head team. We have players that can play multiple positions. We have 6 people who can captain the team. It's a pretty solid team for us.
That's why Coach Keita ain't joining us. She's trying to write up her team tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, looking at it, it's a very experienced team, and it's a lot of the names in there have been traveling over the past 6 years, and any one of them could be a captain on a day, any one of them could be a goal scorer on a day. So I'm pretty excited about this team.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. Well, Aaron, I want to thank you very much for your time. I know you guys are working extremely hard to get the 2 teams ready, but first things first is the under-20s and then on to the national team.
Exactly. 3 teams are getting ready, because the U17s are getting ready for their tournament in Q1 2022 also. So 3 teams are active: U17s, U20s, and the women.
Well, that's even better, because now you've got more to choose from.
Yes.
And it could be where a U17 will probably or hopefully make their way into the senior team, just to give them that experience, as these girls got experience and exposure as under 15s playing in an under 20 tournament.
Well,
so now we see that evolution of under 20s playing in the under 20s, the under 17s playing in the under 17s, and not 15s playing in the under 17s.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've seen that growth. So I have to commend the coaching staff, the parents as well, as you indicated, because the parents had to buy into it. The girls brought into it, the parents had to buy into it, and the coaches have stayed the course. And I want to commend you guys for doing just that. And I want to encourage you to stay with it and give these girls the guidance that is needed to be successful for the country. And I know I can see them advancing in this round. I'm speaking it. So no pressure on you, no pressure.
No problem. I mean, the pressure is welcome. And before I go, I'd like to thank you, because you have always been supportive. You've always been there from day one to hold interviews, to get us exposure when we need it, to ask the necessary questions when needed. So thank you also.
Thank you very much. We're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up this edition of the Island Stat Sports Show. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Okay.
We're welcoming back the often featured Whole Food veterans Bragg Live Food Products, renowned for their live probiotic organic raw cider vinegar and savory seasonings. Paul Bragg is the man behind the products that has originated health food stores, restaurants, and spas, and promoted nutrition education through the media, helping lay the foundation for the enlightened way we make healthful choices when we shop for and prepare food. This month we're featuring Bragg Organic Raw and Unfiltered Apple Cider Vinegar and Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil. Lindos, why go anyplace else?
Well, we've come to the end of this Wednesday, June 30th edition of the Island Stat Sports Show. I want to thank Brian Morris and Ezekiel Stoneham, who gave us insight into the upcoming Johnny Walker golf tournament that will take place in September at the Ocean View Golf Course. And again, to Erin Dankins, the under-20 women's national coach, as they prepare for their CONCACAF qualifiers also in September. So we'll be back next week, Wednesday. Jason should be back with me with another edition of the Island Stat Sports Show. Folks, enjoy your night.